Hi guys, today I'm going to start a new series on Power BI development, Power BI dashboard development. For that, first of all, we know that the reports are or the dashboards are basically generated in Power BI desktop. For that, it's a free software. Anyone can go into the website and download it and install it. So for that, basically, I can go to powerbi.microsoft.com, or you can simply search Power BI download, and that will take you to the link of Power BI downloads. And once you go to that, you can see here a Power BI desktop download option. So basically, Power BI desktop is basically a studio like a tool which is used to create reports and dashboards. Then we can, that is free also. So then we can, once we develop the report or dashboard, we can we can send the file, the PBI file, which is the Power BI file, to anyone, and anyone with the desktop version of that of the Power BI desktop can use that. So basically it is free, but if you want this to be published to the cloud so that a bigger community or bigger number of people without Power BI desktop need to access it, then you will have to publish it to the cloud, which is managed by Microsoft, and you will have to pay for that. But to develop, learn, and to develop, we don't need to pay anything. So just go to this website and download it and install it. So once you install it, then you can go ahead and open the Power BI application. So it might take a few seconds to open up the Power BI desktop. You can see that this is started loading. Let me minimize this browser window now. So it may take a few minutes, a few seconds basically. Open it up. I don't have the latest version, that's why I have the warning here. So when it comes like this, you will get a window like this. Basically, it shows you um, a few options. It shows the previous Power BI applications that you have, or Power BI files that you have worked on. You can ignore that. Then you have an option to get data. Basically, all the reports will be basically based on some data. So you can if you want to select what is the source of the data directly and go developing the report, you can use this option, or else you can go ahead and close this introduction screen so that you will be taken to the screen where you have the report available there. So first of all, we need a report, we need a data source for these reports. For that, we have a few options. Before we go into that, let me introduce this screen to you first. So we have the different menus, toolbars here, and it is organized as in home, view, modeling, and help. Home is basically where we have the basic data. Then view is basically to manage how the screen, how the development pane look like, and modeling is where we will do some additional modeling with the data and the reports. So let me go to home back. So we have a few options for the data. That is basically you can get data from any of the available sources. It could be from an Excel file, it could be from a SQL server, or it could be from one of the web pages, or you have more options here. If you click on that, you can see all the sources available here. There are a lot of options, so most of the data sources you will be able to access through Power BI. So now I'm not going to the details of that. Instead, there is another option, enter data. Enter data is basically, it's like you're going to enter all the data that you want to create the report on. This is useful when you don't want to have a dependency on the data, like you don't want an Excel to be connected, so you are going to store all the data in this Power BI file itself. So we will be going with enter data today, and later the next series we will go with other options like Excel or SQL Server. So if you go to the right side of the screen, you can see a couple of options. One is visualization. This is where you are going to design all your reports and make the changes to the reports. And to the right, you can see the fields. Basically, the fields will show all the available fields so that you can put those into the reports that you're going to develop. So we don't have any data added, that is why there is nothing shown here. So let's go ahead and enter some data. So if I go to enter data here, it is basically to create a data dynamically. So I can define the columns here. So for example, let me define the first column as name, and the second one as salary, and the third one as department, for example. Then I can go ahead and add the values for each of them, as many rows as I need. So I'm adding John, 10,000, IT department. I can go back down, Roy, 15,000, IT department, Paul, 5,000, admin department, Jacob, 6,000, IT admin department, and then say Tom, 8,000, HR. Now next one is like what you want to call this new table as. So basically I'm going to call it say employee. Then you have options like load or edit. I will go with load now, so that this data will be loaded as a new table with the Power BI file. Edit is basically we can load it and edit in the same step. So let me go to load first. So you can see here in the field section, once it is finished, the new table will be coming up in this field section. You can see the employee table came up with the different options like department, different fields like department name and salary. Salary is a number, that's why you can see a symbol next to that. So whenever you want to make a change to this one, just right click on this here and go to edit query. This is where we are going to edit the data tables. So you can see that on the left we call all the tables as queries. So we have an employee query here, and it is displayed here on the right as we have entered the data. On the right we have multiple steps, so whatever we do or modeling here, it will be entered as different steps here. For example, you can see that this table is called employee, and if you go to the applied steps, you can see that there was a source first, then there is a change type. So if I click on the source, so you can see that this, when the first step was happened, it was like this. You have all the data here, but you can see that all the types were text. That's why you are seeing ABC as a type here. Then it automatically identified that the salary is a number, and it added one more step here, change type. So it changed the type of the salary to number. So you can go ahead and delete this step if you want, so that I have only one step, and the output of this step is basically the like this. So if I want to change this, I can click on this type, and I can make a change to the type of this one as decimal or whole number or whatever you want, currency or whatever you want. Also, you can go ahead and change that transformation in the transformation toolbar. Also, you can go ahead and change the type here as well. It's both the same. I'm setting it up as whole number. So you can say that this is changed to number, and they added a new step here. So if you want to change the data, because since it is not connected to an Excel or anything, since you have typed in all the data, you can double click on the source step. It will open up the data that you have entered, and you can add or delete or edit any of the data that you want anytime. Yeah, I'm not going to make any change now. Okay. Now, to close this one, you have to go to home again of this window and close and apply. You can put it here, so that the changes will be applied on the screen. Now I want to bring in a table first. That is my first step. So you have all the visualization options available here. So I'm just going to put a table, which is this one. I click on this, it will open up a new option like this. Now what I'm going to do is I want to put all these three columns in the table. So I can do it in a couple of ways. One is that I can drag and drop this to this visualization. That is one step. So you can, second step you obviously is that you can check it this one like this. That is the second step. The third step is you can drag and drop the field to the visualizations panes, the bottom area like this. In the values you can put this one. Now I put department as this one and salary as this one, so that I have the data available here, like the table available, the visualization available like this. So it automatically adds a total there. So if I want to get rid of the total of, or if I want to make any change on the visualization in regards to the formatting, I can just click on the visualization that I want to work on. Then this is where you are going to select all the columns or fields, and if you want to make any format changes, you have an icon here for formatting, or once you select that particular visualization. So you have all the options here. So you can see that there is this total here. So if I expand that, you can see that there is an option to turn on or off the totals. So I just turn it off, and you can see that the total is gone from the visualization on the right, on the left. And if you want to change the column header to have a for color from black to say red or some other color, you can do that. You just change here. All those kind of things you can try working out on that. Now I want to quickly add one more visualization, which is, say I want to add another table in which I will show all the departments, and I will show what is the total salary that people in that department is earning. For that I cannot put a table because it is actually a summarization. So for that I have another one here called metrics, which is actually a pivot kind of thing as in Excel. So just click on that, it automatically adds a visualization here. As I mentioned, I want the name as the rows, and I want the salary as the or value, salary as the value. So it automatically, sorry, name is not what I want. I want the department as we mentioned. So I put department, then I put salary. So it will show like for each department what is the total salary and. So if you want to go with average, it automatically adds the salary here as the total. But if you want to change that, you have option here. You click on the value, the values salary here. There is a small drop down here. You click on that. You have options like you can go with average. So it shows that what is the average salary that a person in admin department is getting, or chart department is getting, or IT department is getting. Say like that, you can go with any of this. What is the minimum, maximum count, or whatever you can go with. You can work around, or you can play around with that. So what you might have noticed, one thing is that when I change this average of that, the title also changed. For example, for the department, it shows departments because that is the name of the field that we have dropped here. But if you want to call it by some other name, then you can just simply double click on this one. It will be editable, and you can change it to department so that it is changed from the visualizations as well. Or save like that. If you want to call it, instead of average of salary, you can call AVG salary. You can just change it here. That will be affected here. Now I can position it. I can select this one, and I can move it to wherever I want this to be placed. Like I can do like this. So this is quickly my first. This is my first report to start with. You can play around with this one, and I will come back with the next continuation of the next lesson in my next video. So if you have any question, please put that in the comment, or if you have any suggestion, put that in the comment, then I will respond back there. So till I'm coming up with the new video, goodbye.